What's good, man? Y'all tuned into another episode of WHCR Late Night New York with your boy King Haas in the building. Right now, we doing something different. We doing something extraordinary. We doing something out of sight, out of this planet. I got my boy, my guy, my dude, Bert G's in the building.
Let's talk about it.
What's good, bro?
First of all,
introduce your folks also, man.
Yeah, it's not just me, man. Yes, it's your boy Bert G. First of all, King Haas, thank you for the opportunity.
You already know.
Paparazzi TV, thank you for the opportunity. Shout out to It's Crybaby. If you haven't checked out her song, IDGAF, she rapping on a drill beat, showing love to everybody. Tell me your name one more time in the back. K6, helping out earlier, was cool with the setup. Mm-hmm. What was your name? Behind the camera, huh? You're the paparazzi?
Yeah, I'm D.
All right, we got to shout out D. It's like Vlad TV. You just hear the voice. So I want to make sure I shout out everybody. So that's one. But we got, I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We got members of the team, Big Sexy and Aquacots. We got Clout Jones. We got Jayexx. So why don't y'all introduce yourselves? Go ahead.
Yeah, man, it's the one and only Clout Jones. Big Clout, without a doubt, man. You can check me out, cloutjones.com. Only artist with his own streaming platform. Let's go.
Talk about it. Yo, it's your boy Jayexx. That's Jayexx. So how you five you race, yeah, how you five. I'll fight those five guys, right? Yes, sir. I love the you feel me? Uh-huh. I'm just happy to be alive. I'm happy to be here. You feel me, baby?
It's a lot of light-skin energy on this couch right now. I just want to know.
It's what it is.
A lot of light-skin energy on this couch. I pick it up. Yeah.
Now, first of all, man, you brothers got a wonderful dynamic that y'all got going, man. Is a pure energy. It's energy that is hard to see nowadays in this industry. But that's full of fakeness and other stuff that I can't say because this is going on FM radio. So
yeah.
It's just So what was the genesis of this relationship? How did you three brothers link up?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Mm-hmm. So I love what you said about like being able to tell when something is kind of just put together by people in suits and whether it's like a real connection. So Jayexx, I know through my boy Det. So we got this company called Genius Potential. We do a lot of stuff in the schools, but we also merge performing arts with doing work for the DOE with colleges. We was talking about that earlier, remember? Mm-hmm. So my boy Det, my co-founder, put me on to Jayexx, put me on to Clout. Clout was doing a lot of work. It's funny, like he started off like not even on the artistic side. He was helping with our branding. He was doing the graphic design. You see Clout got his own shirt. You know what I mean? Like, he got the QR code on the back. So definitely a very business-minded. Okay. So organically, we started doing more and more projects together, building trust. Nothing happens overnight. And then the craziest thing with these guys, and it's how you know they was real ones. One time I texted, I was like, yo, listen, I need y'all to cancel all y'all plans. Everybody's sleeping in my basement. We doing an album in 48 hours. I'm flying out a videographer. We going to do a documentary just like they did with Dreamville of the album making process. So we actually shot a documentary and recorded a full album in 48 hours. Some of the songs that you've been playing on Paparazzi TV are off of that album, bro. Dope. 48 hours. So again, just seeing their work ethic. We had our squabbles like any family, you know what I mean? Like, yo, don't smoke weed in the bathroom. Yeah, that type shit. But, it's true, it's authentic, and they'll tell you that I'm a hard ass. But, it's so easy to get lost in the industry when you're not professional. So I'm just very like Kobe-like with it. I see too many people slip through the cracks. You feel me?
I see. As soon as you came in here, you had the agenda, you had your game plan, and you bing, boom, boom, boom. So I you could tell when somebody takes their work and takes their craft serious. And just off of that alone, I have an immense amount of respect for you guys, man. Because a lot of times, artists nowadays, they don't understand the dynamics of what it takes to go ahead and do, handle their business when it comes to just ordinary things. It's all like doing interviews and things that you guys are on time. You guys are setting up things. You guys are you're here working, communicating.
You need us to bring anything, just all of that, just because it's funny because, and I don't want to monopolize the time. Last thing I said, I was on a TV show in the beginning of the year, a reality show. One of the things I asked the producers, like, what do I do to be successful? You know what they said? Show up on time to call time. You'd be surprised how many people get in the entertainment industry and they think they somebody. They late. They slowing down the whole production staff. So I would have my notes ready. I'd be ready for the scene, and I'd be on time. And like that was like what made you a rock star. Like basic being reliable. It's wild. Simple. And shout out to Jayexx. He's got that. He lives the double. I'm gonna let Jake speak on it. You know what I mean? He lives the double life. You know what I mean? This man works all day and he's Batman at night. You know what I mean? Engineering, doing records. So I mean, can you speak to that? The professionalism you worked in the work world, how you apply it to music?
For sure. I'm a general manager of a restaurant, and
Dope.
it definitely applies. Everything all applies. Systems create success. But
repeat that one more time, brother.
systems create success.
Now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Systems
yeah,
create
yeah.
success. You feel me? So there is a lot of things that I apply, just the mindset and just certain ways of working. I definitely apply that to my artist side. Like Bert said, I'm Batman at night because I am that dude that will stay up 5 a.m. working on a record. I'm working on the reverb. You know what I mean? I gotta get it. I gotta get it right. I gotta get it sounding right. So that's me. During the day.
Wait, I got a question, man. Hold on.
So you engineered, not to cut your wisdom off, you engineered the record that you just sent me, the new record.
So he engineered a couple joints off the project. He engineered. We got a song called "Pimp Walking in My Slides." He engineered. You also engineered.
one with him
Alright,
on the hook?
okay. Huh?
The one with him on the hook is also?
The one with you talking about Talk to You? The one I just sent you, Talk to You. We got that engineered actually too. So Tag Up Studios.
All right.
So we gonna break that record
Break it
tonight.
down. All right.
So shout out Tag Up Studios in the Bronx.
Copy.
And then my guy High Frequency Studios, my guy Carl, and then Sound Lab in Belmore. So we had like 7 different engineers on this project.
All right.
Yeah, collaborative, 100%.
Dope. So you was talking about, and this for you, man. I see you merchandising. You're an entrepreneur as well, man. The QR code is a dope idea.
Yes, sir.
Talk about your website. Because I say that to say that on this platform, we want to teach artists how to also, make a little money for themselves. Because as we know, it costs money to go ahead and pay for the studio. It costs money to pay for these videos. It costs money to do certain things or what have you. So don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with Spotify, but you know where I'm going with this.
Right.
You know exactly where I'm going with this.
To the choir. You preach to the choir.
So what made you come ahead and put together your own streaming platform?
Well, it's a lot of what you talked about. I mean, we all know the situation with the streaming platforms and how much they're paying for streams. Mm-hmm. And I think as artists, people have been conditioned to view a stream or a like as value, but they don't actually see what a stream or a like actually is, and that's actually traffic. That's web traffic. Mm-hmm. And when you're using Instagram and all these apps, what they're doing is they're essentially leveraging the traffic that you're bringing to their site to make money. And it's like, the way I looked at it is like, well, why can't I do the same? At the same time, all the platforms that seem to be available for independent artists, such as us here, all those platforms seem to day by day be taking away not just how much royalties they're paying out to independent artists, but they're being bought out by bigger platforms. You got Bandcamp just got bought out. Spotify just announced that they're not going to be paying out unless you get like 1,000 streams. So that's millions of dollars being taken off the table. So the way I looked at it is like, the technology and the software to create a website it's not hard to build. Creating your own streaming platform isn't hard. You just have to be willing to do it and be willing to drive the traffic there. So for me as an artist, as opposed to trying to get people to follow me on Instagram or follow my Spotify, my goal is go to my website. All my music is there to stream it. If you want to buy my project, you can go there to buy my project. My merch is there. My updates are there. I post more on my website than I post on social media. So I'm trying to create essentially a world for my content, and just cut out the middleman.
Man, that's dope. That's a beautiful thing, man, because nowadays, you just said yourself, the artists, I ain't going to say all artists, but a lot of them, as we all know, they value the likes, they value the social media attention, but at the same time, they forget about the most important part, which is the restitution, the financial part.
Yeah, me and Bert talk about all the time. We call it vanity metrics. It's there to boost your ego and make you feel good. And that's what these companies have done. They've traded the money for your ego. They say, okay, well, you're going to get popular. You're going to get likes. You're going to get famous. But most artists don't have a way to translate that into actual income, into what actually matters, what's tangible.
If I could just add to that.
Add to
So
that, please.
so this is I remember I shared this stat. We talked about this in the car one time. We do these car rides. And so I have less than 100 monthly listeners on Spotify, right? Like around 100. But my debut album, which I released at the end of December last year, in the first 30 days on Bandcamp made $1,000. So I was making more in the first 30 days with my album than people that have 500,000 streams. So, but the difference
Talk to 'em.
I have a mailing list of my top fans. I have a Google spreadsheet with, if you've liked 50 posts, I got you there. If we went to the gym together, if we ran the marathon together, and you were like, I really like that song, run into it, I got you on a list. So what happened is when I released the album in the first 30 days, I was doing direct outreaches to people who were existing fans. So I wasn't paying for Spotify to get on a playlist or to fake streams or to scam nobody. I was going directly to my consumer and my fan base. My fan base is people who are like, they're from the suburbs. You know what I mean? They're from the suburbs. Maybe they got a little hood in them. You know what I mean? But they're middle class. Maybe they work a job, but they have a creative side they never tapped into. I know who my fans are. So I was speaking directly to them. You know what I mean? If you watch the show Insecure, you know what I mean? You're probably one of my fans. If you like J. Cole, Mac Miller, you're probably one of my fans. So I know exactly who to target. And I don't care about everyone coming to my party. I just want the people who are going to rock with what we got going on being at the party. Feel me?
Speaking on what we were talking about, and I know this, but for the people who are listening, the people who are watching, and once again, we have a lot of independent artists and up-and-coming artists that listen to us and watch us. Speak on the importance of a core audience. How important is it to have a core audience? So, and for some people who don't understand, what is the definition of a core audience?
So, speaking to your question about the core audience, and I'm going to pass it to Jayexx for this one, because I think part of your core audience is where people mess up, is they don't realize that today people buy the music because they buy into the person and they buy into your why. Like, so example, my album is called You Were Here the Whole Time. And it was because, and my name when I came out was Clark Wayne. And, Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne. You get what I'm doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
But the
all right.
mask that I was wearing I was trying to mask the fact that I was an underachiever. I was trying to mask the fact that friends my age were buying houses, they were getting married, but I'm here kind of feeling stuck and left behind because I'm spending so much money on music. I can't outwardly look like I'm shining like my friends are because I'm sacrificing so much. So I would mask it by doing crazy things at parties or doing all this stuff to mask, because I didn't want you to poke and see, I'm actually feeling broken, that I'm not as far ahead as my guy who went to works at Morgan Stanley. I'm gonna win in the end, but it's kind of like when you grow braids. You know that middle period when it's not quite a fro, it's not quite a Caesar. You ain't getting no love, you ain't getting no numbers at the club.
You're feeling stuck, yeah.
You feeling stuck. You got that
man.
mid-fro, bro. And so I think it starts with the why. So people heard my thing and they were like, I spent so much of my 20s in a job where I was sucking my soul, and I felt like I was masking being an underachiever. That was my why. And I want to pass it to Jayexx, because Jayexx has an album coming out called The Pillar. And we spoke at an Airbnb in a kitchen. You told me your why, man. It touched and moved me, man. Tell me what's going on with that pillar. Like, why? Before you tell me what kind of music going on, like, why are you putting that album? Why is it important to you that you put that record out?
Man, it's imperative that I put it out. It has to come out, and that's because it's coming from a real place. It's kind of going back to what Clout said. Got to cut out the middleman, and part of that is making people want to buy into you. So it's that why. Why do I want to buy into Jayexx? So this project, The Pillar, a pillar is that big stand post that's gonna hold up a building pretty much. So you see holding up any type of building. That's a pillar. So yeah, The Pillar is just some life experiences I've been through in the past couple of years of my life. Losing my sister to not to breast cancer, to cancer. Going through toxic relationships. Dealing with just really wanting to quit my job and just take that leap of faith and you know what I'm saying, put the all into me. But also caught up in that trap of I need this money,
That's right.
So in all that and just trying to help out, my mom as best as I can, as much as I can. But it's like, how can you help somebody else when you need help yourself,
So you got to be the pillar for her, and you got to be the pillar.
You got to be the pillar. But I've always been that dude that's, if I come up in a room and be like, oh, he got the good energy, or hey Smiley, that's the name I would get a lot just off of, and that's not even trying to mask anything but I feel like that's kind of just my destined. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just what I exude, It's not a front, but we all go through stuff, but I feel like I'm the pillar, and that's that.
And not, to add on to what you're saying, hip hop culture needs that beacon of positivity right now, and not just hip hop culture, but the world in general. Because of everything that's going, this is not a political show, so we're not gonna get into that part of it. But we know how mucked up this world is right now, man. So we need positive people to come and just give that dope positive energy, man. Because not a lot of people have access to that. Not a lot of people are dealing with that. Like I was telling you before, how you had those affirmations that you put up on a regular basis on your Instagram posts, and that's a good thing. So what inspires you to go ahead and just want to put that out there to the world?
Yeah, so I'm gonna get into the affirmations and why that was so powerful, but first I kind of want to hear from Clout, like what your why was, because I want to make sure everyone in the audience.
My fault, brother.
And by the way, just so you guys know, I know there's for the folks listening on the radio,
WACR 90.3 FM. I'm so sorry, Angela. Don't kill me.
Shout out the radio for the folks.
WACR 90.3 FM.
For those on the radio, you can't see it, but this man has a QR code on the back of his shirt. You know what I mean? So respect to that. But just tell me your why, and I'll go into the affirmations.
All right, well, my whys go down to two things. So the one is the first thing we touched on, which is essentially I want to empower independent artists to essentially take back the music industry and take control of their careers.
Dope.
Own your music, make your own platforms, put it out there, and make money from it, because you can. Now the second one is, I have to give you a little bit more backstory. I'm dropping two projects. One of the projects is called Real Men Do Real Things. That's a rap project, and then there's another project that's called Men Have Feelings Too, which is an R&B project. Now, the reason for those two projects, you'll notice both of them have men in the title, because for me, I'm very passionate about manhood in general. I feel as though in this generation, manhood is like demonized a little bit. And it's also like it's kind of obscure. A lot of men don't have a guideline on the right way to handle themselves in general. So the Real Men Do Real Things is more a project for men. It's just giving a masculine perspective on life or getting money, how to handle yourself, how to do business. And then Men Have Feelings Too is more so for a female audience, kind of to give them an insight into the experiences we go through in relationships. Because I think a lot of times, like I'm heavy into the podcast and the YouTube thing, and I find that there seems to be a lot of disconnection between men and women, as far as women being able to understand the motivations and the emotions that men are going through. So I try to take a vulnerable approach with that project and kind of share a lot of the sensitivities and vulnerabilities that I've had in relationships, hoping that the female side can get an insight to, hey, like men have feelings too, like we're real people,
You know what? That's dope that you're saying that, because there is a disconnect between the sexes, and a lot of that is because we don't communicate on each other the proper way.
Big facts.
So that's when the hostility comes into play, and like a lot of times, like you'll communicate more on the text. You're arguing on the text. I'd rather argue with you in person than argue on the text or whatever, because I might say something to you in the text that you might misinterpret,
right,
and take elsewhere. Where I could have a conversation with you, and we could have we might still argue, but after in that argument, we're gonna have some type of understanding, whether we agree or disagree. So it's kind of like it's crazy, because it's kind of like, if you're too manly, it's considered toxic, masculinity. But if you're not manly enough, then it's what kind of man are you?
Right.
So it's kind of like, as a man, sometimes nowadays for us, it's we walk in a tightrope, because it's kind of like you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. So
it's that suffering in silence too. He actually got a song on his project called Suffering in Silence.
Yes, especially as black men in this country. You know what I'm saying? Especially as men of color. in this country, and sometimes I'm just giving my opinion that our women don't necessarily understand the struggles that we have to go through on a day-to-day basis. Like he said, we suffer in silence. So it's dope that we're getting into that. So now let me go to my next question, and it ties into what he was talking about, mental health.
Yeah, I want to jump into that. Kind of loop back to what you said about the affirmation. So there's this quote that I heard. I always really, really loved it. It said, "Be who you needed when you were younger." You know what I mean? And so a lot of people don't know this about my story. I talk about it on my album. I got a song called Talking to My Therapist. And a lot of people don't know that late in life, I got diagnosed with living with bipolar. Late in life, I got diagnosed with ADHD. And so it's like every 3 or 4 months, I have this crazy depressive episode. And I actually struggle to enjoy things because after I do a dope show or something great happens, I have this very, very high, but then I crash and I become numb. And it's hard for me to enjoy things. And I just start numbing myself with like all types of bad things and bad decisions. And so for me, with the whole mental health piece is I come from a Haitian. Sac passé, all my Haitians live.
Shout out to all my Zoes.
All my Haitians on Flatbush Ave during the parade. Shout out. But, you know, we didn't talk about mental health growing up. You know what I mean? It's the West Indian, you know, it wasn't a thing. So I just never had an outlet. And so for me, when I would hear artists, like one of my favorite songs was Nas, You're the Man. When he said, I saw a dead bird flying through a broken sky. I was like, yo, that's how I feel right now. How did he just do that? And so for me, I always respected artists that could give a window into like what's going on mental health wise. And we've lost so many people, man. I mean, Mac Miller, like there's so many different like artists that we've lost to suicide and stuff like that. And we don't talk about it. And I've had really, really low lows. And so my thing is if I could help one person with my music, you know, the mental health piece is important. In fact, we're actually working on a tour right now where we're doing 2 themes. So one show is all about healthy versus toxic relationships, right? The other show is all about mental health. All of the songs, artists, placements, skits in between, for those 2 shows, we're only touching on those topics. So if you like music talking about that topic versus sometimes you go to a showcase, it's like, okay, there's a drill rapper, there's a spoken word. None puts it together. But going back to mental health, I feel like art is like the best megaphone for mental health, to speak on it, you know what I mean? To bring light, to bring joy to people through the music. So yeah,
that's the most beautiful thing about this art form, because the trials and tribulations and the struggles that we go through, man, we get to use that pad and pen, or now iPad. We type on the iPad, but whatever, to express that to a segment of people who don't have people talking for them. So that's dope. Go ahead.
No, you good, bro. I just wanted to add on that vulnerability. You know, I think that's what it really is coming down to. You know, vulnerability, breaking down the walls. As far as, you know, the mental health goes, as far as just sharing the information, you just want to be who we are, and we want to show, and we want to put up no mask, no front. Yeah, it's gonna be cool because we just cool. We naturally cool, you know. Exactly. But at the same token, you're gonna feel us, you know, because it's coming from a real place, and I feel like that's where you have to be right now if you want this world to recognize you. Dope. Is you have to be yourself. You have to be able to put yourself out there. And I don't mean yourself by, you know, putting on cool chains and stuff. Just be yourself, you know. Everybody's original, so vulnerability. That's what we giving.
And there's another word on top of that, authenticity.
Yeah.
Because the people not gonna respect you if you're not authentic.
Yep.
And it was dope because you guys, y'all just being yourselves. Sometimes, you know, you being around certain artists, and I don't knock nobody, so I'm not trying to bash anybody, but let's just keep it real. It's like, as artists, sometimes, you know, we've all been there where it's kind of like, you might feel like, hey, I got to be this way in order for the people to mess with me. I got to talk about this type of stuff in my music in order for them to mess with me. And sometimes it's like, nah, sometimes, man, when you yourself, man, they going to love you even more, man, because at the end of the day, whatever, it's real. They could connect to it. They could relate to it.
Yeah, speaking of that, I don't know if you saw that article, I think it was Billboard, where labels are having trouble breaking new artists. I don't know if you noticed, rap sales are down 40%.
Yeah, man.
And so there's a couple different things. One, not every artist is putting the same level of effort and energy into their shows, right? You're seeing Beyonce and Taylor Swift. The shows is a whole production, and some cats is going on there with like 30 of their homies or whatever. I'm not knocking anybody, but it's like, yo, you're competing against that production level, right? So there's one. And then two, you know, what happened was there's a lot of fans right now who are yearning for the authentic rappers. So, for example, you know, and again, this is not a shade or attack. I'm just talking numbers, right? So City Girls didn't sell as much this new project they've released, right? And I think part of it is because people see Sexy Red and they're like, oh, she's really living that. And I think they look at City Girls and they're like, yo, they had the Hot Girl Summer and I mean, they kind of had those records, but are they really still living that? And I think they question the authenticity. And I don't know whatever side you stand on, I don't know them personally, but I've heard in circles, like, you feel that too, right? Like, I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, actually, she really out here living that ratchet life. And I think whether you're ratchet, positive, whatever, but if it's authentically you, why do you think J. Cole, I think, like, rises the pup? Like, people feel like, yo, that's just Jermaine. That's who he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
like it's nothing.
Even Yachty, right? So why is Yachty still relevant and like Lil Pump isn't? You know what I mean? I just think like people look at Yachty and they're like, yo, that's who he actually is.
Yeah.
Versus, and again, like I said, I don't know these guys, so I don't know what's like a marketing and what's not. But I'm just talking about the perception of people.
The eye test.
You feel it. You can feel it.
Grab the mic, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
You can feel it, man.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I'm like I'm a mob boss and you can't grab the mic from me.
That's a fact. What's real is what's real, and it's kind of like like I was going back and forth with one of my young boys, and as you know, you got other artists that are prevalent, but you know, different tours getting canceled. And you got someone like 50 Cent, whose album came out 20 plus years ago, and he's overseas in Europe selling out shows, and people gravitate to him because he's his 50. You know what I mean? He's authentic. He's him. What? Oh, what's up with the old guy? That old guy's still making more money than all y'all combined because at the end of the day, he's being him and the people relate to him. So y'all need to go ahead and be yourselves and put out some timeless music just like him.
Yeah, and then shout out to Hip Hop 50. That whole movement, because I feel like it really shined a light on the OGs.
I agree.
Shout out to that. Shout out to the Universal Hip Hop Museum in the Bronx.
Definitely.
By Hostels Community College. We did a show there earlier in the year. They're like, you know, keeping it really connected and authentic. You know, they had Dead President there and stuff like that. So yeah, I think you're 100% right. Like, we know if you capping, like, we just know, like, the audience is not. It's very obvious.
And I say that again to the next thing we're gonna get into and to connect the dots or what have you. You brought up Hip Hop 50. In the previous summers, the violence was at an all-time high in the city, especially in the quote-unquote hot spots, the Brownsvilles, the East New Yorks, the South Bronx, the Kingsbridge, Fulton Road, East Harlem, et cetera, et cetera. This year, it had a different feel because there was so much stuff going on because of Hip Hop 50, so much positivity that if you notice, you have, people were still doing things, but the overall crime actually went down. It actually went down. You was going to these events and you wasn't feeling like, hey, I gotta get out here because somebody about to do something stupid or somebody about to get shot or this, that, and third. You had people from all ages, from teenagers to people that was 60 years old and everybody in between, just embracing the culture and loving the culture from all nationalities and all backgrounds. Like I went to the anniversary over there, 1520 Cedric Avenue, and that was the most. If you know about Cedric Avenue on the west side of the Bronx, that area is a tricky, dangerous area. So, from what I know for a fact, certain people were spoken to before they came and did the festival over there. Hey, listen, man, we're trying to do this on a regular basis. You guys can't be over here acting crazy. And the guys actually went ahead and they obliged. And you had people that were comfortable, man, in the Bronx. Nighttime, just chilling, enjoying the vibe, enjoying hip-hop. So you guys are bringing a positivity that at the end of the day, we could go ahead and, put this in all the schools and different places throughout the country. That hip-hop could go ahead and be used as a positive force instead of the negativity that's portrayed with. I ain't mean to. I just had to get that off my chest.
I agree with everything that you're saying, right? And it goes back to the authenticity, right? And that's kind of why I rock with these guys, because like, all right, like Jayexx, for example, like he just did a show. We went out to his show, right? And he got this song called "Never Going Back Again," where he's talking about like his weight loss journey. I don't know if you want to elaborate that, but on that, but he's talking about his weight loss journey, and it's like people can actually relate and connect with that on a deep level. Same with Bert. Like one of the first songs that I heard of his was the Talking to My Therapist joint, and I was just like, yo, like I could relate. Like I don't have a therapist, but I can relate in the sense of having those thoughts and feeling those moments. So it's like authenticity in hip hop allows people to connect on a deeper level, and it creates that environment for what you're talking about, where people can now be in the Bronx feeling safe because of the air and the energy of the hip hop 50.
Yeah, so elaborate more on what the brother was just saying.
Oh yeah, man. So I got this track which is off of the Pillar project. It's called Never Going Back. I this past year lost about 70 pounds. You know,
Say that.
You know, all through discipline, all through going to the gym, working out, all through counting my calories. I'm drinking my water. And just really being hard on myself. I'm fasting. Doing what I got to do just to change, to be better. Just turned 30, and I was like, I got to be better. I got to do something I've never done. I just got to be different. You spend a long time living a certain way, and it's like, let's go. If I want to reach new heights, I got to do different things, right? So that's what that's about. And
first of all, I have so much respect for you for going through that journey, but also opening other people to feel comfortable to talk about that journey.
Right.
And there's one more thing I want to talk about: authenticity. And you talked about hip hop, safety, whatever. Is one thing is like, yo, everybody ain't a thug. You know what I mean? And I want to. Where's the camera? Is it this camera right?
You don't gotta
Look,
be.
here's the thing, right? So when I talked about we made this album 48 Hours, we have a project together called Summer Fridays in Long Island. And here's the thing, right? A lot of artists don't rep that they're from Long Island. Like, maybe they lived in Brooklyn for 2 months, but now they rep BK all day, every day. And it's like, yo, you know what I mean? And here's the thing. I make living in the suburbs look cool. You know what I mean? Because the way I talk about the experiences, you know what I mean? Like, those are my experiences, but it's like there's clever ways to talk about those experiences and like who are the characters. You know what I mean? Who's faking the funk? Who's trying to be fake hard? Who's, you know what I mean? Like there's ways to describe that. Like, what does a Friday night look like for a guy in the suburbs? Like, what's he trying to figure out? What's he trying to get in? What kind of trouble is he trying to get into? Who's that girl that he's all these storylines, and it's like everybody don't gotta be a thug. Like there's no drill songs on the album because it's like I'm not living a drill life. Like Ice Spice type beats are dope, but I'm not living that life. So it's like I'm gonna give you the listen. You're gonna hear me talk about code switching. You're gonna hear me talk about 9 to 5, but it's what I do in the 5 to 9 that really matters. You're gonna hear that type of talk. You're gonna hear boss talk, how to be an independent entrepreneur artist. It's like I have stuff to offer. We have stuff to offer, and it don't got to be the thug conversation. I do want to hear that thug stuff from cats who are really in it. You know what I mean? Like, I think Scarlett's very authentic. You know, I hear her. I'm like, I believe her. I believe that shit. You know what I mean? But some of these other artists, I'm like, again, respectfully, like, so I just wanted to say that on our project, like, we spoke about this, like, guys, there's no need to cap. There's no need to act like we're harder than we are. It's what it is. Yeah. Let's put it out, and it's going to be people that rock with it. And nobody's really repping Long Island like that. It's like, oh, I got to go out in the city and get popping, whatever. I'm like, nah, they going to feel us. You know what I mean? You start as a big fish in a small pond, then everybody else want to cast the wave. Don't get me started, man.
Talk that talk.
Don't get me on my Bert G
talk,
shit.
Man. Let them know, man.
Nah,
Let
don't
them
get
know,
me,
bro. Let them know. Nah, man. It's yeah, man. You guys are cool, bro. I like y'all, man.
Appreciate you.
Y'all some cool cats, man. For real, man. Nah,
I probably got you fined. I think I cursed like 2 times.
Yeah,
so send me the invoice. Send me the invoice.
Yeah,
send me the invoice, my guy.
Angela, that's on Bert G. But yeah, and you tune in to Late Night New York, WCR 90.3 FM, man. I got the guys with me, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Before we wrap it up, man, let's get into the new single. Who produced it? Where they could find the single, etc., etc.
Yes. So the new single, which we are debuting tonight. Listen. You listen on radio, y'all getting a special exclusive. So there's a lot of different collab songs on this project. There's a song that we have Clout Jones is on it, and then we brought on this record. We got the voice of Harlem from Chicken Noodle Soup. No music. It's called Talk to Ya. You know what I mean? The sample on it, I think is the name. The song is called The Last Bell. No More Bells to Ring or something. It's like an old school. The sample's beautiful. It sounds like a Pharrell beat. It's crazy. Voice of Harlem actually raps on this record. Normally he just hypes it up. He has a full verse on the record. It goes crazy.
Listen.
And talk to him, because it was your idea. You were like, yo, this has to be a Life Feet record. So why don't you speak about
like,
that?
When I heard the beat and I was in the studio, you know, we were in the studio writing the record, and I just had my eyes closed kind of, and I was just like imagining like the video, and I just kept seeing like light feet dances, and I just kept seeing like chicken noodle soup and all that type of shit. And,
He was Harlem shaking
and I kept seeing like toe whopping and all that. So I was just like, yo, like. Then I kept in the back of my head, I kept hearing like, I do the whop and shit like that, like the little ad libs, and I was like, yo, we got to get Voice of Harlem on this song. Like, we just have to. I just said it in the studio, and they was like, I don't know. They was like, whatever, we could think about that. And then, we kind of closed the issue. Then like Bert kind of did a little research and kind of pulled a couple strings, made a couple moves happen. And then we ended up getting him in the studio. And dude went in the studio.
Jay-Z didn't even
Hove with it. Like he just went in there like, yo, like, I'm ready.
He bopped his head like 8 times.
I'm ready. Just spit the verse off the top. And it's like the energy he came with was just like classic hip hop energy. So this record is like perfect for the club. It's perfect
For the Light Feet community.
Perfect for the Light Feet community.
Feeling sexy in the
Perfect
summer.
Representation in New York is just that energy, that fun energy for the kids, for the people, for everybody.
And I'm gonna announce it right here. Can we do an exclusive? I'm gonna announce it right here. Listen, so we dropping the talk to you. We breaking the record here. All right, and we're gonna do a dance contest, right? So whoever does the best TikTok, the best IG reel of dancing to talk to you, send it to @Bert BERTG Music, BERTG Music. DM me. We're gonna give a $150 cash prize. We're gonna award it at Tag Up Studios, which is one of the places where we lay down the verses. You know what I mean? We're gonna definitely show love to the Light Feet community. Put some money in the dancers. Throw them a bag and just create just a feel good energy. And that dancer will also get to be in the video too. So you know what I mean? We appreciate the opportunity. This is dope. This really is dope. This is like one of those things where you manifest it. I feel like we talked about this on the couch, so this is dope.
Yeah, so just to let y'all know, this record is available currently on all streaming platforms and on CloutJones.com.
Yeah, I know what it is, man. So, gentlemen, we appreciate y'all for pulling up. Before we go, tell the people where they can find y'all. Give them the websites and where they can find the merch and everything one more time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Once again, I go by the name of Jayexx. I'm not on Clout's level yet. I don't got my own, my own yet. But I'm going to. I don't got my own. But
No. We're not gonna let you do that. Stand on who you are.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not comparing, dog.
No. It's not even about comparing. But you know what I'm saying? I'm inspired by my brothers. And I want to do that. So that's why I said I don't have it yet. But you're going to see it soon. But you can find me all over social media, JAYEXXX. Tap in, man. Tap in. We got a lot coming.
All right, so guys, it's Bert G. You can find me on @BERTG Music. Bert G Music. I'm on all the platforms, TikTok, Instagram. I'm on SoundCloud. I'm on iTunes, all of that. Also, I do a lot of work with the DOE. We try to use music and performing arts and theater skits to do like a MTV meets Wildin' Out program. We work with colleges, we work with high schools. It's called Genius Potential. It's one of the largest growing educational companies in the country. No. Where's the camera? In the country. Yeah, you're gonna have to come find out about who we are.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So definitely tap in, follow. And one thing I'm passionate about is not the opportunities I create for myself. I'm passionate about the opportunities I create for others. So tap in, holla at me.
Yeah, and like I said, you can find my music at CloutJones.com, and I'm on Instagram also at Big Clout Jones.
And he does bar mitzvahs too. Let's go.
Man, I do everything. I do all type of events, man. I do graphic design. If you want to get a website built or something like that, DM me on at Big Clout Jones. And we work it out. I set something up for you. I do merch. I do logos, or everything.
For those who are watching visually, all the information is going to be below on the screen. And for those who are listening to audio-wise, I hope y'all paid attention. Y'all had a lot of knowledge. Y'all had a lot of jewels dropped on y'all, man. So we appreciate you guys for coming out, man. Y'all now tune in to another dope episode of WHCR 90.3 FM, Late Night New York, with your boy King Haas.
King, can
Shout
I leave him
out.
with an affirmation?
Huh?
Can I leave him with an affirmation?
Leave him
I want you to have the
leave
last
him
word, but
ahead,
can I leave
brother.
it? Look, last thing I'll say, because this has been the story of my life, of our life.
Mm-hmm.
Work hard in the dark so you can shine in the light. It's by Kobe Bryant.
Oh.
Take him home.
Clap him-
Close the show like the champion you are.
Clap it up for that, guys. On that note, y'all got the affirmation. Y'all got the dope vibes. Y'all know what it is, man. It's Late Night New York, man. WACL 90.3 FM. Shout out to Paparazzi TV on the camera. We out.